Let her go!
In part 1, I took you behind the scenes to show you what it's like catching 20,000 pounds of king mackerel here in the Gulf of Mexico. The season isn't over yet, and we're gonna do whatever it takes to fill the boat before the quota of 670,000 pounds of fish has been met. Hello everyone, and welcome to part 2 of the world of commercial fishing that very few people even know exists. My name is Scott, and this is Once a Stranger, and we are king mackerel gill netting. It's an incredibly fascinating world, and if you have not seen part 1 yet, go right over here and you can check that out to get to kind of get a head start of understanding what's really going on here. This is the very last day of the season, but we've already been out 3 times and we haven't showed you that yet. So let's head back to what it's been like the past 2 trips, and then we'll get back to this one and show you, because there is a lot more to learn. Thanks for being here, and let's get right to it.
No, it'd be better here.
As I mentioned at the end of part 1, I had no idea that I was going to become a crew member on this boat for the season, but I thoroughly appreciated the opportunity. There are so many moving parts to share with you all, so let's get right to the action from our second trip out. In case you didn't watch part 1, this is called a strike, and that is when we find a school of king mackerel and surround them with an 1,800-foot net that goes 100 feet deep.
Black line is going to be on the outside, it can't be in the middle. Gotcha. Underneath, it can be underneath what they tie. And then you got to probably put another tie here too.
When there isn't a second boat around to help tie the ends of the net together, it is up to the crew to make it happen.
They're on the stern, they're hanging on the stern handles. You got a knife? No. Right there in the leg.
Hunter and Steven are the chosen risk takers on this job, moving as quickly as possible to close the net.
Yeah, tie right there. Tie the 2 nets together.
Tie the 2 pieces of float line together right there. And then we have to go out there and get the purse rope out of where it's tied out there.
Before the net is tied up, there is still a chance for thousands of pounds of mackerel to find the exit and swim out.
One on one side, one on the other.
Piece of cake. Piece of cake.
With that mission accomplished, I gotta wait till they're all out of the way before I can bring my drone down. Hear that beeping noise? Well, that's my drone telling me it's coming down whether I like it or not. Oh, stay down there, buddy boy, stay down. Whew. What a freaking shot that was. So now that the net is in the water, we have to wait for the sun to go down to pull back up. In the meantime, we're gonna have some dinner, because if it's anything like last time, we have 13-hour straight manual labor hauling the fish in and sending them over to the fish house. One of the things I ended up learning on this trip is that these gill netters only go out when it's calm, which I was so happy to hear. It isn't easy filming on a rocking boat, but these conditions I can handle. As the sun begins to set, we prepare the boat to start hauling in the net. All right, I'm all suited up, and now it is time to bring in the catch.
We need 7,000. We got 7,000 so gutted, which means we'll get 10 or 20 cents more. All adds up.
While we wait for darkness to set, which is when the mackerel will think the net is no longer there and start to stick to the net, we notice sharks swimming around, later making their way out.
There we go.
For the next hour, we hauled in 7,500 pounds of king mackerel and only noticed 2 small pieces of bycatch. Pretty clean fishery, if you ask me. Now with the 1,800 feet worth of netting back in the boat, it's time we start heading home, all while picking the fish out of the net. What's different about this trip is that the fish house asked us for gutted fish, like you heard the captain mention earlier. With the added labor involved, we'll be able to make 10 to 20 cents more per pound, on top of what the whole fish payout already is. All right, there's the final count, 7,457. Now we're gonna continue to clean up. And it looks like we are gonna go on a third trip. Ain't that right?
I hope so. We'll see how close to filling the quota we are tomorrow.
If 75% of around 650,000 pounds has been met before Monday, we will not be going out. But I'll be checking back in with you. All right, so what are you doing here?
We are mending the net.
And what does that mean?
We have a hole and we're repairing it.
The timing of repair day was perfect because not only did we have a cold front come through, but it was also Friday, and the government does not allow this fishery to catch on weekends due to them not being in the office to receive any fish counts that need to be added to the quota. All right, so what I'm doing is called threading the needle. Winding the needle. I knew I didn't say it right. Winding the needle. Where I'm preparing the twine for the mending of the nets. With ingenuity at its finest, Sammy goes up to check on the hydraulic roller that is used to help bring the net into the boat. It looks like we'll be heading out in just a couple days because we won the lottery. Is that what it is? Or we're in the lottery. So we're in the lottery to actually fill up the rest of the quota. There's 125,000 pounds of kingfish left to be caught. What I found to be pretty cool is that the lottery has been set in place by the fishermen themselves to protect the industry from going over. If they do, the government agency that oversees this fishery, NOAA, will subtract that amount from next year's quota. I told you there was going to be a lot to unpack here, and we ain't done yet. With that being said, welcome to trip 3, everyone, which may end up being our last trip out. It's about 9:30 in the morning, and we finally reached our destination, about a half hour late, and that is because I am the dingleberry who did not wake up to his alarm clock. And it took Captain George calling me up to wake me up and get over to the dock. I don't feel pretty good about it, but I wouldn't be telling the story appropriately if I didn't mention that part. We spent 2 days out at sea and didn't catch a daggone thing.
And why am I talking like country boy? I'm not really sure why, but...
Then headed back to the dock, unloaded the net, only to find out a few days later that the quota still hasn't been met, and we had the opportunity to fill the boat. Trip 4 also left us empty-handed, and it was at this moment I was told the season had ended. They call me the Black Cat.
Scott's the Black Cat.
So I guess I won't be invited next year. I tell you what, they gotta be playing games with me here because a week later I was called in to fish yet again and was told that this was officially the official last trip out. Anywho, there's 50,000 pounds of fish left to fill the quota, and we're down to 5 net boats. The activity amongst the hook and line boats is making this day look promising, and of course, I couldn't make you all wait this long without seeing some fish.
Let it go! Let it go!
What you're about to witness is my camera routine every time that we had a strike, or sometime even close to it. I wanted to make sure my cameras were ready to go so that you can catch all of the action. Take a look at that handle spinning. Holy mackerel, you do not want to get caught up in that. What was new to me was seeing all of the hook and line boats inside of our net catching fish. I asked the crew how they felt about that. What's up with all these boats that are inside of the net?
catching fish.
Yeah, but it's
They're
is
just
that
fellow
something?
fishermen. I mean, 2 boats helped us, 3 boats helped us tie our lap together. So, or are we the big bullies that came and pushed everybody off this place of fish, and took them in and took their fish from them? Or did we find these fish and we struck, and then everybody came over to give us a hand, and then we're gonna give them the opportunity to catch their fish in our net?
Can there actually be an argument over that, like a legal argument?
They've been calling me all morning and saying they're marking stuff.
Yeah,
You know, they want to fish in a fish tank.
yeah.
I mean, it's got to work both ways. If they're going to call me, I got to let them in the net. I'm more worried about the size of the fish. What they're catching is real small. It might go through the net.
The holes in the net have to be 4 3/4 of an inch to allow smaller mackerel to pass through. Lots of environmental studies have been done to help keep this fishery sustainable, selective, and clean. And because Captain George was concerned that the fish were too small, we brought the net in a little bit early, and not one mackerel was big enough to stick.
I think a lot of times when people see a net, they associate it with drift gill netting in the Pacific or something that is killing turtles or dolphins or whatever. You know, our nets don't. You know, it's completely different. It's hard to explain. You know, just because it's a net doesn't mean it's that type of net.
What's happening here is that while the net was being reeled in, it ended up getting caught in the propeller.
Look, Sammy! Hold as much as you can, Sammy! Get her back up!
All right, crisis diverted. All right, so what's gonna happen now, as you can see, the net is actually in the middle of the boat instead of in the back of the boat like you saw before. Well, that's because it just takes too much time to roll it back over and set it in the back, what's called the pen. So we're gonna keep it here, and we're actually gonna strike from the center of the boat. All this, Stephen, tell me how dangerous this is on a scale from 1 to 10. Is it more than 10?
I'd say like a 6 or a 7.
6 or a 7?
You just can't be on top of the net.
Okay,
when,
but
when
what
it's
if
in the pin,
what if you get caught in that net?
Oh, well, you're stuck. You're going overboard, and those lead lines are taking you underwater.
About 6 hours later, it was finally time to strike again. And just watch how much more violent this looks when the net is in the center of the boat. Whoa, that is super violent. What a wild thing to witness, and a little concerning for sure. Aaron and Steve went back at it again to tie off the ends of the net. And it was time to wait until sunset to bring in our catch. Damn, dude, that sky looks beautiful. And now for the moment we've all been waiting for. How many mackerel did we catch, if any? I guess we'll find out here soon.
Grab them folks. Bring them. Get them legs and wrap them around that leg.
Green peas for dinner. These are smokers. Jeez Louise. Oh my gosh. Damn, dude, look at this guy. Oh, shit. That's probably 30, that's 30 pounds right there. We didn't catch nearly as many fish as we were hoping for, but at least it helped pay off the bills. And barely breaking a sweat while doing it. Once again, the fish house asked us to gut all of our fish, so here we go with another 10 to 20 cents more per pound. We got back to the dock just before sunrise and unloaded the net for probably the 8th time to finally finish out the season.
That's a wrap.
How many times this year?
Way
Don't
too
ask.
many times this year.
Way too many. I only have pulled this net that many times in my life in a year.
Not in a long time.
Not in a long time.
Not in a long time.
It's been a long time.
Remember the fish house from the last video? It was booming. It's really strange when there's nobody here. In case you couldn't tell, I was so tired, and so was the rest of the crew. You really gotta love what you do to be able to handle this kind of manual labor. So how we do?
2,300
Where I'm gonna make it.
2,312, wow.
Not enough.
Oh, it was more than what we thought.
23,000.
Yeah, I agree. Our final count for the season was just under 30,000 pounds of fish, though one boat brought home around 120,000 pounds, which goes to show nothing is guaranteed out there. After collectively spending close to 216 hours on this boat, and about 15 of those in this bed, I'm reminded once again that the life of a commercial fisherman is incredibly hard work. And I want to thank the crew for allowing me to film such an incredible experience. To the rest of you, I have an idea I want to share with you. Behind me is a wall of DJ gear. This is what I do for a living. I'm an event DJ, doing weddings, private parties, all that kind of stuff. And right here is my wall of video ideas. So this is where you come in. If you are hosting an event anywhere around the country or the world and are in need of a DJ, please consider me to help you with that event. I would love to go out and help you host your event while spending some time in your city to film a Once a Stranger episode. Now, if you're new to the channel, the series is all about exploring human connection through the power of a simple hello. It usually informs of filming people just who I'm not familiar with and get a better understanding of the world around us. So if you are hosting an event, please give me a call or email me. I have all my links below to my DJ company. For those of you who are interested in sponsoring or contributing to this series, there is a link right here where you can make a monthly or one-time contribution. To those of you who have been doing that already, thank you so much, because you have really helped out a lot keeping this channel alive. You can subscribe here if you'd like, and if you want to watch some more videos, here's one that I think you'd like, and here's one that YouTube would think you'd like. I appreciate you watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Take care.